This is a demo about the Quandl API in R. The first thing we need to do to use the Quandl API in R is to gain access to the API. These are the steps to follow. First, you need to access data.nasdaq.com. There, you will create a free account. When you do that, you will get a key. That's a very long ID. Keep that key that you obtain secret. Do not share with anybody. This is the place in the website where you will create the account and obtain the key. This is just in the data.nasdaq.com page, going down the page. Second, once you get your key, you will access RStudio and install package Quandl. Using the function install the packages as usual, then you may want to get more information. And then don't forget to enter library Quandl statement. Third, you will enter the key that you got where it says below, key goes here. The function you will use to enter the key is quandl.api_key. And then you enter your name here, not your name, but your key that you obtained when you created your account in this website. These steps are very important because they are the steps that will allow you to access the time series in the databases that are given to you with the free account. The next thing you'll need is to know what it is you're looking for. You need to know the names of the time series that you want to access. In order to do that, you will need to be familiar with the databases that you want to access. For example, suppose I want data from Fred, and suppose I want data from the Missouri unemployment rate. How do I know the name of the variable is MOUR? Well, I would have had to go to Fred. Maybe I was interested in unemployment rate data. I just enter in the search the name of the terms I want, unemployment rate. Fred will give me different time series. I will select one. Missouri unemployment rate called my attention. That's the one I want. But I do not want to download it from Fred. I want to access it directly from within R without having to download the data. So I use Quandl. Quandl allows you access to the Fred database. It's one of the free databases that you can access with your free account. So using the function Quandl in R, I enter different arguments. The most important one, of course, is the database name and the variable name. Without it, you cannot access the variables. Then there are other very important arguments, such as the type. This refers to the class of object that I want this data to be for R. I want it to be TS. TS is one of the oldest formats. And it's a good format for this data, for MOUR, because the data has no missing values. And it's monthly. So I also determine what kind of aggregation I want. I want monthly. Then I want the order of the time index, an ascending order. That means I want the oldest date first and the last date last. And then I establish when the time series stops. I want time series up to this date, July 31st of 2020. In addition to that, I want to make sure I know what has been done to the data, because that will determine my future analysis. So I want the metadata, and that's why I enter argument meta equals true. Let's say that instead of Fred, I want data from the National Statistical Office in the United Kingdom. Well, the same, I will have to become familiar with the database and know the names of the variables that I want. So let's say I also want an employment rate, and I find out in the database that's the variable mgsx underscore m. In Quandl, I know that the variable, the database name is ucons. So again, I use the Quandl function in R. I enter the required arguments, database name, variable name, type of time series class that I want, and the one I'm going to specify is TS, and then monthly again in ascending order and ending at the same time as the previous one. And also I want the metadata to see what they have done to the data. So this is the routine. You become familiar with the databases. In order to do that, you need to know what databases Quandl supports for the free account. And you can do that by going back to the Quandl website, which is the nasdaq.com, and then there look at the catalog of databases available for the free account. So the number of data banks that you can access with free Quandl is limited, but it's enough for somebody learning. And you can still access a lot of time series from different countries and different variables. And the practice with Quandl will help you become more confident in accessing other databases via API. For example, I created this plot with R after I accessed the Missouri unemployment rate, the California unemployment rate, and the United Kingdom from the UConns database. I got Missouri and California from Fred, and I got the UK from the UConns. And then because I made the TS class, I was able to use the R routines for the TS class object. So I can do a lot with some of these databases, particularly important when you are learning that you use TS to start with complete data so that you learn the concepts with all the additional complications that come later with data that is not as good as this one that we have here. So here are the websites that we accessed to learn the names of the variables. For each database that you want to access, which you will find in the catalog, you will have to find the website and familiarize yourself with it and learn the names of the variables you want from it. And now, if you know how to use R, you can go to RStudio and run the code in the quandl.demo.r script file. And if you are new to R, you may watch the video in which I show how to run the code in Quandl demo.r file. That is a separate video. I hope you enjoyed this demo and do not hesitate to ask questions.